The sun had barely risen, it cast long shadows. A new day promised learning, laughter. Young students full of dreams boarded their school bus. Their bright uniforms were a splash of color, their chatter filled the morning air. Hope was palpable. This was an ordinary morning, or so it seemed. Then, unimaginable horror struck. The innocence of the morning was violently torn apart. Suddenly, the journey to school became a nightmare. The bus, a symbol of youthful aspiration, became a target. Gunfire erupted. Explosions perhaps followed. Chaos and terror replaced the children's songs. Screams pierced the air. The attackers showed no mercy. Their motives were steeped in a dark ideology. They aimed to instill fear. They sought to break the spirit of a community. The world watched, aghast. The immediate aftermath was a scene of devastation. Twisted metal, shattered glass. The precious cargo of young lives, so cruelly assaulted. First responders faced an unspeakable scene. Parents rushed to the site, their hearts pounding with dread. Their worst fears were realized in a brutal instant. The air filled with sirens, with cries of anguish. A community was plunged into an abyss of sorrow. This was not just an attack on a bus, it was an assault on childhood itself. The news spread like wildfire. It sent shockwaves across Pakistan. It reverberated around the globe. How could such a thing happen? Why target innocent children? These questions hung heavy in the air. There were no easy answers. Only a profound sense of loss. A deep, aching wound was inflicted. The bright promise of a new day had been extinguished by an act of barbaric cruelty. The silence that followed was deafening. Behind the headlines, individual tragedies unfolded. Each child on that bus had a name, each had a family, each had a future, now stolen. Consider young Aisha, who dreamed of being a doctor. Think of Ali, who loved cricket and made everyone laugh. Their empty seats at the dinner table would ache for years. Their laughter would echo only in memory. The grief was a tidal wave. It threatened to drown entire families. The parents, once filled with pride, were now consumed by sorrow. Their lives were irrevocably altered. They had sent their children off to school expecting them back. How does one comprehend such a loss? The pain is a constant companion. It is a shadow that never leaves. Sleep offers no escape. Waking hours are filled with haunting images. Their questions to the heavens would go unanswered. The weight of what if became an unbearable burden. The community reeled. These were not just statistics. These were their children, their neighbors, their friends. Schools closed, shops shuttered. A collective mourning descended. Vigils were held, prayers were offered, yet the void remained. The fabric of the community felt torn. How could they protect their children? The sense of security was shattered. Trust was a casualty, alongside the innocent lives lost. The shared sorrow was a heavy blanket. Siblings lost their playmates. Grandparents lost their shining stars. Teachers lost their eager students. The ripple effects of such an attack are vast. They touch so many lives. The psychological scars run deep. For the survivors, the trauma would linger. Nightmares would plague their sleep. The sounds of that terrible morning would replay. Healing would be a long, arduous journey. A journey many would walk with a permanent limp in their spirit. This tragedy did not occur in a vacuum. It is vital to understand the broader context. Pakistan has faced complex challenges for decades. Regional instability plays a significant role. Porous borders can offer sanctuary to extremist groups. These groups often thrive in lawlessness. They exploit grievances, real or perceived. Their ideologies are built on hatred. They reject peace and education. They seek to impose their will through terror. Internal political and social fissures also contribute. Economic disparities can fuel resentment. Lack of opportunity can make youth vulnerable to the siren call of radical narratives. Governance challenges can weaken the state's its ability to provide security for all citizens. Corruption can erode public trust. It can undermine efforts to combat extremism. These are not excuses for terror. They are factors that create a fertile ground for it. The fight against such violence is multifaceted. It requires more than just military action. It demands a societal response. Education is a powerful antidote. It can counter extremist narratives. It can promote critical thinking. Economic development is crucial. It offers hope and opportunity. It reduces the pool of potential recruits for violent groups. Strengthening democratic institutions is paramount. It ensures accountability and justice. These are long-term struggles. Global and regional dynamics also exert influence. Proxy wars and geopolitical rivalries have often played out in the region. This has fueled instability. It has empowered non-state actors. International cooperation is essential. Essential to address these cross-border threats. Sharing intelligence and resources is vital. Supporting Pakistan's efforts to build resilience is key. The roots of this violence are deep. They are tangled. Addressing them requires sustained effort. The immediate response is shock. It is outrage. It is profound sorrow. But societies are resilient. Communities can find strength in unity. The memory of those lost must fuel a resolve to build a better future. A future where children are safe. A future where education is cherished. This attack is a scar, a deep, painful scar on the nation's soul. But scars can also be symbols of survival. They can be reminders of what must be overcome. The path to healing is long. It requires courage. It requires compassion. Support for the affected families is paramount. Psychological counseling is essential. Rebuilding trust within communities is vital. This means rejecting the politics of division. It means fostering understanding and empathy. Voices of moderation must be amplified. They must drown out the rhetoric of hate. This is a collective responsibility. It falls on every citizen. Education becomes an act of defiance. Sending children to school in the face of fear is a powerful statement. It says that hope will not be extinguished. It says that the pursuit of knowledge will continue. Investing in education is investing in peace. It is investing in a generation capable of building a more tolerant society, a society that rejects violence in all its forms. This is how a nation fights back against darkness. Ultimately, this tragedy must serve as a catalyst for change. It demands a renewed commitment, a commitment to peace, justice, and security. It calls for introspection. What societal changes are needed? How can the cycle of violence be broken? The world watches, hoping for resilience, hoping for renewal. The young lives lost must not be in vain. Their memory should inspire a relentless pursuit of a Pakistan where every child can learn and dream without fear. This is the solemn promise that must be kept.